Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is the US market recap video for the week ending July 3rd, 2025. We have July 4th weekend, Independence Day holiday, so no market on that day. But we had 4 days of trading this week, and as you see here, we have another strong week. We actually closed much higher than the previous all-time high here, 2204. We are now at 2601. So this is very positive, and we have come very far since the April 7 low. This obviously looks like a very strong V-shaped rebound. And yeah, I think a lot of people probably are a little bit surprised where we're at right now. We do, I think we had the bill, they call it the big beautiful bills passed, signed by Trump this week, and so yeah, we'll see how the market react on Monday, but I think the market has been anticipating this news. It's been coming up the last 2 weeks very strong. Here's the Nasdaq on the daily chart here. So again, I'm going to draw a line across here. We did have so we did break to new high, like, since, let me see here, last Friday, we did get to a new high, and then Monday we continue on that, and then Tuesday we had a pretty bad day for the Nasdaq, actually down almost 1%, I think 0.82%. So, but we did very quickly, we did rebound, and look at the next day. It not only did bounce, but we actually closed higher than the range of the previous day. So then we followed through on Thursday, July 3rd. So you can see the gap up here, and it just closed very strong. And here's the intraday chart here. So we see the gap up, and it continued to close like pretty strong. It didn't give up too much at the end of the day, so that's really good too. So at this moment, it does appear Nasdaq is a little bit extended from the 10-day moving average. I mean, it could get a little bit more extended, but right now it does appear a little bit extended, so don't be surprised we see another very short-term pullback here possibly. Yeah. So we recently, we have a few runs here, right? Like from the bottom. So we have this run here for 4 days here. Then we have this run here that's about 6 days here. And then, but the rest of the way, and then more recently we have the 6-day run here too, before like a pullback. But overall, we do see a lot of pullback, right? So right here, there's a pullback, here's a pullback, here's a pullback, here's a pullback, here's a pullback, and then the most recent one is this one right here. So even though it's just 1 day, but still it's, it is pulling back pretty hard on those days. So right now we gap up on Thursday, and yeah, so it does look a little bit extended. We could have another day, but it could, let's say Monday gap up on the morning, maybe there's some excitement about the bill that was passed, and but it could reverse and again fill the gap here. So just be mindful. So looking at the S&P chart, very similar. This is also a V-shaped rebound. We kind of come out of this nice tightness right here, and then we kind of make new high the previous week, and then this week we falling through as well. So yeah, very positive for both S&P and Nasdaq. So here's the daily chart. Again, this is the previous high right here, and so we did make new highs the previous week, and then this week we continue. And look at Tuesday, it didn't drop as much as Nasdaq did on that day, so that was another sign that the index just wanted to keep going. And here's the 10-day moving average, very sharp angle, right? And even with this sharp angle, it still accelerated on Thursday, gap up right here. So again, it does look a little bit extended at this moment for the index. It could go higher. Like for example, right here we have a huge gap up right here, and so that gap is pretty big here, so much bigger than this. But yeah, but that it ran on for a few more days before it pulled back really strong. So usually it depends on how much extended it is. The more extended, the harder it'll pull back to the 10-day. And this one, like this was the right here, it was a really severe pullback. It pulled back all the way to the 21-day here. Here's another pullback right here. It pulled back also to the 21-day here. So that's two times, so right now we are probably at again, very similar sharp angle right here, on the 10-day moving average. So it looks very similar to this angle here. So here we have a slightly smaller, like 2.5 day pullback here. So we could expect something like that soon too. As for Dow Jones, again, very similar chart. We have a V-shaped recovery here as well. It actually outperformed with 2.3% this week, more than Nasdaq and S&P. We are very close to new high here. Very close, like 45,000 here, 0.73, and we are at 44,828. So just a little bit off the high here, less than 1%, I think. So yeah, so we could hit that, as in the coming week. The daily chart, you can see it here. It's very close to it. Look at this sharp angle, uptrend here. I mean, this was sharper than this one. So this is the angle right here. And look at the 10-day, look at that slope. It's much sharper, more steep, right? So again, we did see some pullbacks when it get extended here, like right here. Pretty sharp here, down to 21-day. And we saw another pullback here. We haven't seen any pullback recently, so Dow looking very strong, like these are so tiny range here for that day, for those days there. But yeah, right now, it definitely looked a little bit extended, and it could break out and then before it pulls back. So something to be aware of right now. So Russell also outperformed this week, but that's just because it's small cap, usually run more in this case. We are, trying to recover. Again, very similar pattern here, V-shape. We are still way off the top, from the top here. So, but we did make a very big move this week. We were able to finally come across the 200-day moving average, which is the black line here. Looking at the daily chart, yeah, it shows very strong move recently. You can see from this bottom here and drawing that trend line right there, that this angle looks, again, very, very sharp, much sharper than the original one here. Just a little bit more. And then, we did see some pullbacks, right, along the way. So this was a hard one down to 21-day. Here's another one, hard one down to 21-day. So, yeah, so, if we do see a pullback, we could easily come back to 10, even 21-day. So, these are where the extensions are right now. It does look a little bit extended, but it could definitely go on further. So, for example, here is the extension right here, around there. And then from here, was around here. So yeah, so we're getting very close to the, a little bit extended here. So maybe also deal for a pullback soon. So here's the Innovator IBD 50 ETF, which represent the 50 growth stocks. It's doing pretty well. It's been coming pretty strong from the bottom here. We had, the previous week we had a pullback slightly before it bounced. And then this week we actually also have very similar pullback just for one day before it bounced as well. So we are getting closer to a new high. So that's another good news there. So here's the daily chart right there. That's the high, previous high here. And this uptrend has been pretty stable for most generally. It did hit 21-day here, 21-day here, 21-day here. This one recently didn't hit the 21-day, but it 4 to 10 days. So right there, and then right there, right? So this last Tuesday, we had a pretty severe one-day drop here for growth stock. It was down 2.86% that day. So that was a little bit of a growth scare here, especially after last Friday's reversal as well. It didn't bounce off it didn't close strong. And then we had Tuesday, so that definitely caught me a little bit off guard. But then, we reversed a little bit on Wednesday, but really the power came on Thursday right here. So, where where it not only gap up but like close to new recent high here. So yeah, so very positive. So momentum is still definitely going. So in terms of overall distribution day, we did get one this week on Tuesday because of that really bad one day here, right here. And you can see slightly higher volume, just a little bit slightly and down there. So, but again, we were able to overcome this down day and push to new highs. So I think that looks good on the momentum side. Here's the overall market conditions. We are still seeing 80 to 100% allocation by IBD. We did suffer a distribution day, as mentioned on Tuesday. We are sitting at Nasdaq. Here's the IBD newspaper. It is a little bit more updated here. So actually, yeah, it did drop off the count. Like it was 2 and 5, 2 for Nasdaq and 5 for S&P. But I think by the end of the week, they were because of the time, it took over 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. And it dropped off the count, so IBD now put it at 1 for Nasdaq and 2 in S&P. So relatively very healthy in terms of distribution days for the market. So in terms of more broader market strength, we are seeing the same thing here. So this is Nasdaq at 100 equal weighted. So we can see it's also hitting new highs right now, quite above the previous high here. We jump to RSP. This is S&P 500 equal weighted. This one hasn't quite hit new high yet. So, but the momentum is strong. So it is very strong right now. So this is also from IB newspaper. We're seeing the New York Stock Exchange event decline line here at the bottom, and it is definitely seeing more stocks moving up right now. So that following the index, right? So that is very healthy right now. So yeah, so it's making new highs as well. So for S&P, very strong. For Nasdaq, we can see the advanced decline line down here. It's also making new highs right now. Well, recent highs anyway, because this one has been lagging for a long time, and now it's actually following the index somewhat because it's making new highs as well. So with the distribution that is low, with the market index hitting new high for S&P and Nasdaq, we are seeing lots of stocks being accumulated right now. You can see 500 to 700. Last week we saw as high as 600. This week we went higher. Less distribution as well, and we're seeing also a lot of industry groups. Now we are in the 100 plus industry groups that are being accumulated. So very broad strength. We haven't seen that in weeks. Lots of time, like for a long time now, to get this amount of accumulation. On the sector side, we can see by the end of the week we have technology 119, retail. This is net accumulation minus distribution. So 119 more stocks under accumulation than distribution. Retail is pretty strong, 171. Financial is the number one, 184. But retail is very strong. And then third is industrial. Then we have technology, and then we have even commodities and energy are doing not bad. And then we have health here, which is the weakest one. In terms of news, on Wednesday we had the ADP employment report, which private payroll fell by 33,000 versus expected gain forecast of 103,000. The market didn't really react to that, which is very interesting. And we'll see on Thursday's job report in a second here. Trump also announced a preliminary Vietnam trade deal, which will impose 20% tariff on Vietnam's goods. So yeah, so that's another news there. We'll talk about Tesla later. They did have better deliveries, I think. Yeah, they have better deliveries. On Thursday, we have a stronger than expected job report. Yeah, unemployment rate also fell. Here's the IB News Daily Investors Basis Daily newspaper here. So yeah, job report surprises, private sector hiring cool, more than expected, but government payrolls jump. So government hiring is at 73,000, private sector is at 74,000, and unemployment rate fell to 4.1%. So that's probably why market is pretty bullish on Thursday. Gap up and can follow through the rest of the day. As we enter July, we also are starting the new earnings season coming up. First reporting next week, we have Delta Airlines on July 10, and we have Taiwan Semiconductor releasing June quarter and Q2 sales. So that will be important as TSM has been on fire lately. So yeah. So here's the 10-year yield. It did jump quite a bit on Friday. So something to be cautious about, because generally when they start to rise, the equity usually, pull back during that time. So something to watch out for. The UUP US dollar is still very weak, right? This is a long-term downtrend. Not sure if this will bounce back anytime soon, but we'll see. This is the US oil fund ETF. It did, it was able to find support after the huge crash here, and then it didn't look that good, right? But then all of a sudden on Wednesday we saw a huge jump here. So and then Thursday it gave back very little. So and it's now above the 10-day moving average. So that's something to watch out for. So maybe it's coming back alive here. As for gold, we did bounce back from last week's drop. Now it's above 10-day again. So, but we're still slightly near the downtrend line from the highs. So there's something to watch out for there. Silver, look at this. It's bouncing pretty nicely here. Found support right there and making higher lows. So it looks like this is trying to go again. Looks very good. So this is copper index. Very strong index right now. Look at this. Able to find support here on the pullback after a gap up. And it's just holding really tight above the 10-day. It just doesn't want to come down to the 10-day. So this usually signal economy strength. So that's looking good as well. Bitcoin ETF here. Look, it found support right there. So we're making higher lows. Uptrend looks like it's starting to gain momentum here as well. We're close to, coming back to the previous high. So this is the WENX Semiconductor ETF. The chip area. So the previous high was 283.07. We did close at an all-time high right here at 283.62. So, on the chart, it looks, just barely above that line. So very, very powerful, V-shaped rebound as well. So here's, the daily chart. Very strong uptrend. You can see, draw a channel line at the bottom here. It's been very healthy. There's several pullbacks here, but the pullbacks weren't too severe. And we also had the Tuesday drop here with higher volume as well. But again, we're able to bounce back very quickly. That's exactly what you want to see. So looking at the specific stock here, we have NVDA breaking to new highs this week. We are now getting closer to the big number, 4 trillion market cap. So it broke out the week before, and then this week again, because of the Tuesday drop, it was able to bounce back and close to new high on Friday again. Awago also was able to make new high this week as well. So very, very strong momentum right now for the chip area for these big caps. So here's the Tuesday drop here, and then it bounced back. It hasn't made new high though. That's the one thing. So it's definitely slightly weaker than NVIDIA and probably Taiwan Semiconductor. So you can see Taiwan Semiconductor make new high here, very strong. Looking at the weekly chart, this has cleared easily. This one definitely looked the strongest out of the three here. And again, we have the sales number coming up, so that will definitely move some of the chip stocks, especially TSM here. So IGV it outperformed the SMH because that one was up 1.87%. This is up 3.24%. This one also broke to new high. The previous high was 11084. Now it's 111.27. Looking at the daily chart here, you can see more clearly that it broke out very strongly here on Thursday, gap up and followed through after the Tuesday down day, which came back to the 10-day moving average right there. So yeah, very, very good bounce momentum here. Let's look at some software market cap, big market cap here, Microsoft. This one broke out to new high much earlier than the index. You can see now it's starting to hold at this highs here after previous week's gain. And so this is also very strong momentum right now. So yeah, just slightly below NVIDIA's market cap, 3.7. We're also getting closer to the 4 trillion number. So here's the slight pullback here, and then we saw the bounce here. It didn't make new high, but it is probably a closing high here. Yeah, it looks like it's a new closing high. So still good momentum. So for Google, it is trying to come back up right now. There's some momentum here. It hasn't made new high, recent high yet. So definitely a laggard here for this one. Meta also come back quite far. You can see, it didn't make much of a move on Thursday bounce and Wednesday bounce. So this one is definitely lagging, right? If I refresh here, I can see the relative strength is also coming down. So that's a sign of the momentum kind of weakening right here. Amazon, yeah, it's okay. It's trying to bounce. I think we have Amazon Prime Days coming up, I believe, this coming week. I can't remember exact date, but it's coming soon. So maybe there might be some momentum from that as well. So it's okay. It's not very strong, but it's also not too weak, so it's okay. Yeah, Apple, which has been probably one of the weakest one, starting to gain some momentum, which is interesting. We saw how many 4 days of accumulation here above average volume. So that's pretty much the whole week here. Even with Tuesday's, growth stocks drop, it didn't really bother by that. So it looks like there's some value investor coming in buying this right now. Obviously the future earnings are kind of slim here, down to single digit growth. But there's some momentum right now. You can see again, the volume is really high. So that's good. As for Tesla, it hasn't made much headway since the robot taxi announced, live. Since this one big day down, it has given up a lot of gains and more. And, and then even with the bounce on Wednesday, Thursday, we are still below this downtrend line. So that's the problem here. And we have tested the low already. So it's definitely the momentum has been weakening. And it's very obvious here from the RS line. You can see the RS rating is just coming down here. Finally, we look at Netflix. After the Squid Game debut the week before, stock move up, nicely here. But this week, Tuesday, we suffer a big drop like most growth stocks. But again, Wednesday, Thursday, the bounce are a little bit mediocre than others. And so, we're seeing the relative trend line had come down and didn't bounce back. So that's also something to be cautious about, here. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I'll be making the growth stocks list video next. So feel free to follow that as well, and please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good weekend.